Shall we begin?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Edit. I'm Danny Boatwright, and I am so excited that actually in town today is my co-host, Aggie Gunnels, visiting me in Kansas City. And so we are in studio
This
together.
is crazy.
Well, I would like to say we're excited to have Sandra and family back. But
Yes.
you guys,
Not under these circumstances.
I mean, I was pulling for you. I had to pull for my survivor sister. Eric, were you like, what the heck have I got myself into with these two?
Oh yeah, 100%. As soon as you get out there and you're dropped off, you think you're ready, but you're not really ever ready because you don't know what's gonna happen next. So yeah, I was over my head.
I actually thought, I mean, you were out there for what, 8 days?
9.
9 days.
9.
9? Okay, that's really good.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing. I told Sandra this when we had her on from the beginning. Eric, Survivor is nothing compared to what you went through. Nothing. This was so much harder. And I just watching it week to week, I am like, I don't know how you guys do it. I really don't. With nobody out there with you, no tribe surrounding you. There's not a whole crew around you. It is so hard, and especially to stay mentally tough through all that. So kudos. Sandra can't talk trash at family gatherings. Okay,
Listen, I
okay,
told
Eric,
him.
I got you. You just put me on the phone.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely no. I told him from the beginning, I was like, if it wasn't for him and his willingness to even go out there, we wouldn't have had an opportunity to even do the show. And then also seeing them struggle, not only mentally and physically, but the only thing out there to eat were the squirrels, the birds, and the bear. You know, they got the grouse, but that was provided. He got a little tiny potato that was provided. They really put them out there to suffer.
Yeah. Eric, how did it feel being out there by yourself? Like not being able to have any conversations with anybody?
Well, he
like,
probably liked it.
I mean, like, but you're alone with your thoughts for like 9 days. Like, I think I would go crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it creeps up on you. Like initially you're like, oh, this is not gonna be that bad because you're gonna be by yourself trying to figure stuff out and you're gonna have enough things to do that are gonna keep you distracted. But over time, you run out of things to do and you just there waiting for whatever happened next. And yeah, by yourself, not being able to really talk to somebody or bounce ideas off of is really hard. Like that really got to, at least to me, it got to me really bad.
And we told him to just keep the lines of communication open. Like when he woke up in the morning, we wanted to know how it went through the night, what he was planning on doing that day. And then at nighttime, let us know when he was going to sleep because we were going to go to sleep too. And like I said before, Eric was in a situation where he was surrounded by dense trees. So he'd be one of the first to go to sleep. Like his camera would go dark early. And then it would go light late. So people would look at his watch and say, damn, he slept for 8 hours, you know? So, but it was a tricky spot for him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we talked to you last time, Sandra, you were saying how you guys are one of the last families out there. And Eric, I was like singing your praises. I'm like, okay, this guy's smart. He knows how to fix cars. Okay. Broken cars or, cars have been in accidents, whatever. I'm like, oh, he won't have any problem at all building a shelter. And then I was like, dude, your shelter was really pitiful at the beginning. But she's like, no, it's because you got dropped out there late.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And he starts, he started doing a good job.
Yeah.
But then I
Well,
thought
he only had bark
the raft too.
Right? You
what?
had bark in his area.
Yeah, so initially, like, we got dropped off really late, and like she said, it gets really dark early. So I had like maybe 2 hours to kind of figure out what I could get and plan it out and find a good spot to stay. So the time went by quick. It really looks like I really had just a whole bunch of sticks, but I was trying to just walk around and figure out, all right, what am I gonna find? I don't know if it's gonna get dark quick because I don't know what time it is. I just got dropped off. So it kind of looked like my shelter was horrible, which it was, but until the next day until the next day that I had a lot of time, it really developed. I built my shelter the second day pretty good, and then little by little throughout the days, I would just make it better.
Yeah, and then he started grabbing the moss too. But later on, he had to go far for moss to try to insulate it. So it was a work in progress.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I was monitoring it. And I was like, okay, Eric, we're getting there. I thought you did a great job, especially for not being a survivalist and not having much time to prepare. And I think, Sandra, you said a lot of stuff he just like would YouTube or whatever to try to figure out how to do
everything. It works out because they got me the best stuff after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they
Now,
know how to work.
Nina, my girl, you cracked me up about every single episode with your one-liners. You and your mom have the best
Oh
banter.
my
By far
gosh.
my favorite duo. How did it feel seeing Eric out there? And, towards the end, he was kind of suffering a little bit. I know that you got a little bit emotional seeing him do
Thank you
that.
for saying that, because in a lot of these shows, having done Australian Survivor and Anonymous, they want the strategic side. And yeah, of course, they want, some funny one-liners, and typically mine don't make it. So I was very happy to actually get that out there, because so many people who know me are like, oh my God, that's so Nina. And I'm like, thank you, because some people just don't understand my personality or don't think I have one. And I'm like, no, guys, I swear I do. But no, it was super hard at the beginning. Like they say, you're kind of just watching them go through the motions. But then once those motions kind of stop and you're like, okay, well, the shelter's kind of built. Yeah, I can work on it, but it's not that much. The nutrition from whatever they did get to eat when the show started is gone. You're depleted, you're tired. They're kind of laying around all day. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And you don't have a choice but to sit there and watch. Like every monitor is always on, unless of course there's like a battery change or something like that. So you're constantly like, oh, let me turn around and look. And it's like, let me turn around and
Yeah.
look. And they're just sitting there kind of staring at the cameras. You're like, oh gosh, like this is actually a lot harder than I thought it would be, because I'm thinking it's like watching a TV show, but we're not getting the edited version. We're getting the 24/7. So you wake up to use the bathroom and you're like, okay, let me go into HQ, peek my head in. And you're like, okay, nobody's moving. Somebody might be up crying. There's a bear alert. Like it's really, really tense. And I found it actually way more stressful than I thought it would be.
Well, I thought it was funny, you and your mom, just like you were saying, the things that they would say back and forth, the banter. One of my favorites is when you were trying to write down the directions for Eric, and you're like, roughly. And Sandra's like, when the challenge starts, she's like, we're not roughly again, okay? Like, what is this
Listen, you know
roughly?
what was crazy about that challenge? Because they tell us in HQ, your loved one is here and the crate is here. So we're thinking, oh my God, we got to tell him where he's going. Then he
Yeah.
gets the crate, it has the compass and it has a map. So now they're telling him 95 degrees, whatever. But
Yeah.
when they say your loved one is here and he has to go there, we're like trying to figure it out with our tools in HQ.
And my thought is always, how can I assist but leave room for whatever you
Yeah.
need to do?
Oh, yeah.
Even with the raft, we're like, hey, this is what we think might work, but you're in the moment. We're not there. We don't see everything. We're not
Yeah.
doing anything that you're doing. We're just witnessing it. What can I provide you that might assist you? Which, I mean, 120, the farther you go, the bigger the gap, but it's in the realm. I was near.
Yeah. Hey, you made it.
Yeah.
You made it there and back. So,
And he
the
only
roughly
used
did
his
work,
compass
Sandra.
one time because he could see a little bit of dim lights. He could hear people off. But the crazy part was like the minute we told him, read the directions several times and make sure you're understanding everything. So we're watching him in
Oh my
HQ
gosh.
read their directions and then read ours.
For like 3 hours, no
read
joke.
directions and then read ours. And we're like, it's okay, Nina. He's going to grab it 95, whatever, southeast or whatever. And then he'd go back to ours and be like, no, if Nina wrote this, then Nina must know something. And I'm thinking like, Nina, we're not never, ever again, because we weren't expecting their instructions.
Yeah, we could have had a montage of us like, please, please, please. Oh no, please, please, please. Oh no. Like I swear it was at least a 3-hour period, because they got told about the trial hours before, because it was barely after lunch and they had to wait to the dark, which I think was of course to create the nerves, get everybody going. They're going to be restless. They're going to be tired, because nobody's really going to be able to take a nap after that, which I don't recall anyone taking a nap. But of course, my attention was on him, just crossing my fingers. I don't pray a lot, but I was praying that day and I said, Lord, please, somebody stop. But it ended up working out.
So you had the stress of watching him, right? And then within headquarters, I feel like you guys had a target on your back, even though you were like one of the nicest,
Yeah. and
people
willing to
out
help.
there. Yeah. So how did that feel? Like day in, day out, people are kind of
Well,
strategizing against you
you gotta
guys.
spill the dirty. I mean, like, was there like stuff we didn't see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, was just new players who were aware of my mom and one slightly aware of me getting into the heads of other people. And when you come and say, let's just say me, oh, she did one show and one recently because nobody knew about Australian Survivor, just anonymous. Then you're like, okay, like, let's see what happens. But when you say she's the queen, she's done this, she's done that, you have
They
a
were
whole
saying
resume to
that
talk
I
about.
was a villain and I was a manipulator, and I'm walking in and there's 4 different families that know who I am, but Daniel was the one going around talking to people and saying, oh, they're manipulators, and she was a villain because I was on the villains tribe on Survivor.
And not only that,
Right.
you have 4 families who are aware of it. One of them is coming full throttle, just painting this picture where the others are like, I mean, I can kind of see what he's talking about. So you're not getting anybody, they're evaluating, like, validating, excuse me, what he's saying, because they're like, oh no, I have seen Sandra do that. So our thought was, she sits at the table, I kind of gather information, I'm going to be the social butterfly to see what everybody says, and we'll let them come to us. So there were times where people would be like, oh, your mom's so quiet. I'm like, oh, go sit next to her, like, whatever, the chair is open, I'm not going over there. Then we played Mafia, a kind of form of traders in there. I was the moderator, she's playing, and we use that to really get in with people. And so we're thinking we're making headway. And I'd say day 4 or so, I'm like, okay, I think we're starting to let people see us. But the boys are also showing their true colors by arguing with us, arguing with RJ's family, arguing with Doug's family. So we're kind of getting away from it, but I could still feel, and I've had discussions where people were like, I did kind of feel like you manipulated that. And I always just come back and say, tell me how. Who talked to you when you thought I manipulated it? Because I know it wasn't me. So how did I manipulate? Like, let's really talk this out. I can understand feelings. I've been there where I'm like, you totally messed that up. And then when you look back at the facts, it had nothing to do with me.
She looked just like her mom, just
I
then
know,
doing all
my
that.
mannerism.
I'm like,
And
oh my
I have
gosh.
facial, like,
Oh, poor Eric.
Literally identical.
Our
I'm
mannerisms,
sorry.
yeah.
It was like, but Eric, listening to all that, they're like, we were playing Mafia, we were this, and they have this food. And meanwhile, you're out there with like the bears and the wolves and, everything else going on. Sandra, don't you dare be hard on him about any of that.
Been nothing but great. I mean, I know we talked
Yeah.
smack during the trials
Yes,
and
you
stuff
have
like
to.
that because you forget the cameras are there. We're like, what are they doing? Like, that's me watching TV like, oh my God, why are they doing this?
Never go to a movie theater with her.
But for the most part, I was really happy with everything. And again,
Yes.
like us getting him his initial supplies, when we had to step back, we were like, okay, if we get him the 2 cans of tuna and an apple, he's like the only one eating while they're still trying to get fire. So
Still warm.
I don't think we could have changed anything, and we should have changed anything,
Yeah.
but it was hard.
I will say, no, Eric, seriously, I played Survivor twice and I'm like watching this going, I don't know if I could do it. It's just so much harder on you out there in the wilderness. But I will say, Sandra, it felt like if Eric, I was like, oh, if you can just get past, he felt so deflated. It's like after you have a challenge, it doesn't go right. Like we know what that feels like. And it's like, it makes you feel like you just want to quit. And if you can just get past that 24-hour mark, will that subside? That's the only thing. And I think, Sandra, you were kind of like that, where maybe he's just having a bad day, you said.
Yeah, it
And
was a
wanted to
couple of
see maybe
hours.
better things.
Nina can talk more about that.
Yeah, she did say, like, hold on now, but it had been a couple hours. He got up in the morning and was like, I'm not feeling great. I was like, okay, that's fine. He took a nap. He
Right.
came back. It got worse. Like, I'm not feeling great, and I kind of want to leave, and I can't. And I'm like, oh God, he's going down this hole. Then he steps away. Then he comes back because, of course, he doesn't know when we're watching. So he's coming back and saying more and digging down deeper and digging down deeper.
Right.
And Australian Survivor's similar. Like, I did one time 47 days, or 44, excuse me. So having a challenge not go right really sucks because I lost the challenge that my mom ended up going home that night. So, that's not easy. But I was able to kind of do my best to get out of it. And of course, he's by himself. He has nobody to talk to. So he's getting deeper. And then the last and final time, because I told him, like most people do, when you're ready to go, just let me know. Out of respect for you, I'll see what I can do in that moment. If there's anything I can provide. If not, then we just have to respect your decision. And he had said something. After playing on Anonymous, had told him, every time I've done one of these shows or any kind of experience, I always was happy. Even on the hard days, I was just like, overwhelmed with the opportunity itself. And so I was happy and I was crying and still wanting to move forward. So he then comes back and says, Nina always says, as long as you're happy, keep doing it. And I am not happy. And for me, I'm like, whoever your significant other is, I'm like, he never recalls anything I say. This has been a said this. He is trying to really tell me this isn't him doubting himself and this.
Yep.
He's like, I am not happy. I don't want to be here, using my own words to me, which of course the emotional aspect is going to hit me in the heart more than I expected. And hindsight is always 2020. Do I wish I had given him those 24 hours? Yeah, of course. However, I stand by that decision because at the end of the day, we can't go back. But I also know what that relief looked like on his face when he did hear that he got extracted, and a little bit of relief of myself seeing him being like, oh my God, to that my decision was the one he really wanted in that moment, at least.
Well, and you know him better than anyone, so you knew you guys had that communication. So next time, you think he doesn't listen to you, Eric, you can use that against
Oh,
him
yeah, no,
because
Oh,
you
yes, I know
clearly
he
does.
Yeah, so I
He
can
pays
really
attention. He
recall.
probably doesn't get a word in edgewise with them, but
Let's
just
be
saying.
honest.
So Eric, while you were out there, I know like Nina said, you were kind of recalling her own words back to her. What was that moment where you were like, you know what? I'm done. Like this is it.
I will say, like, it started a little bit right after, like, on my way back to camp that night. It was just like I wasted all my energy going out there and like we failed miserably. And we get to the end and there's nothing, like there was no reward. Even
Yeah.
us being second to last, there was still, I mean, there was a little mousetrap and a
And
little
a glove.
glove.
Yeah.
So it's like I just wasted all my energy because I gave it
Yeah.
120%, and I got there and there's nothing. And then I still got to make it back to camp. So then I got started going down that night, and then the next morning I just woke up. I cut my foot in the rocks in the lake. I didn't really say much about it
Oh.
because I was just like, oh, it's nothing, it is what it is. But the
Yeah.
next morning when I woke up, my foot was hurting, and I didn't have no energy. And I just woke up in a bad mood, and I was just like, man, I really don't want to do this anymore. So I just started pacing for 2, 3 hours, walking back and forth, and trying to figure out like what am I gonna tell him.
When we watch the show, they make it seem like it was just an
Yeah.
instant decision. You're like, you know what? I'm done. But, it shows that you even thought about that overnight. Like you weren't just gonna it wasn't a quick decision for you.
And one of the big things he said too, which a lot of people say that last season and even early on in our season, is no matter what you get me, it's not going to change my mind. And although we want to be like, oh, we don't care, we'll figure it out, that really does bother you. Like, I mean, you can see Annalise and Jessica Ray, her family, when they left, they were like, we literally just got her an amazing item and deceived somebody for nothing. So that feeling of like, oh my gosh, we're going to end up fighting somebody for something. He's gonna leave like that. I just couldn't even imagine doing.
Well, Eric, I was thinking when you guys were in that challenge, I'm like, this is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
This is a lot of guys right here. These two are like a whole football team, right? And I thought, oh boy, they really are going to exert some energy getting out there. So I was concerned. I was like, oh, because that is a lot. I feel like Survivor, Sandra, you may agree with this, you may not, but I feel like sometimes women have an advantage because if we don't have as much body weight, we don't need as many calories, we don't need all that. And I'm sitting there thinking, Eric, you seem like a pretty good sized guy. And then RJ is enormous. And I'm like, that had to be so depleting. So I was worried in that challenge.
And
I
you
was like,
know
oh
what?
gosh,
We
if they don't
started
win
out
it.
with no one approached us because Nina, tell them how we were.
So going into the challenge,
She's
Let
better.
'em know.
She says it fast.
I
Like
try to get it to the point. Basically, everybody partnered up with who was closest to them, which is even better for us because, hey, we'll step back here because not only him being by himself, okay, that kind of sucks. We want him to have interaction, but we're okay with it. But also, here we are being left out like, oh, guys, like, oh, look at us, so sad. So we're like, hey, guys, we're over here. Like, that's fine. Tanisha turns around and says, hey, no, we actually kind of want to be with you. Our initial looking at each other was like, RJ, though. Then I was like, wait, Eric just got an empty crate, so he knows that there's might be a chance of people knowing us and it not going well for us. Here's somebody who can work with him. He's supposed to be an engineer. And I look at Summer's family and they're about to get ditched. Not by us, by RJ's family. So I think I even says like, hey, are you sure you're leaving them? Are you sure? that's not on us. So here we have an opportunity for Eric to have some social interaction, even if he's a heavier guy. The thought is that he's an engineer, so this would be helpful. And two
Yeah,
or
yeah.
three, we've got people backstabbing each other, and we didn't even have to do it. We just had to like allow it to happen and vocalize it to make sure they know. And I think something about these trials that I thought about not too long ago, actually, coming from Survivor and even Anonymous Traders, all these shows, 99 to Beat, have a timer. It's get ready, go. We're out there. They do have a like,
Yes.
let's go, but everything is so slow paced. So they can't help but have that depleted feeling and allow it to kind of take control. Because although the challenge, I'm sure, is shown in a much shorter scale, we were out there for
Yeah, they were out there.
hours.
And then I was like,
Hours.
man, they're seeing
Really?
Summer. Summer came and went twice because she did it wrong the first time. She only had 2 or 3, how many?
She was supposed to have 4 logs from the wild. She only had 3. She got all the way to the island, made it back, and was in the water before the first person even got there. So Summer being second is legit, but after already lapping everybody.
One time. And then I'm like, damn it, don't they see her with just her boards? Like, get
Yes,
it together. And so we're screaming.
And I
like,
said, good,
what
let her
are they
lap 'em.
doing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I
I thought that was hilarious. She deserves
Like,
it. Let
everybody's
her have
going
it.
so slow, so she
and
deserves
I'm
it.
giving the mom props. I'm like, you know what? It worked out for you guys not having RJ over there. And then in front of RJ's mom and aunt, like I wasn't even quiet. I said, those two will never be teamed up again. That's it.
I wish they had a timer or
Yeah.
something, because I'm thinking he also used to play football. He knows what a
Yeah.
snap is. He knows how to move. And one
Yes.
of the top things I wrote on the note, the first thing I said was functionality over beauty. Literally get in the water.
Yes.
And our
Got
thought
it,
was,
yeah.
let's do like surfboard style, do whatever you need to do, long ways, short ways, whatever works. And unfortunately, one thing about the trials too is they give us so much. We see them with absolutely nothing. We want to give them as much as possible, but all it does is create chaos,
yeah.
and they think they have to use
Yep.
everything like Roman and
Roman
Amy.
and Amy. Yeah, they think they
Yeah.
have to incorporate
Oh,
everything that's out there.
Have
Yeah.
artists in there. I just have to throw this in there though. Eric, you and RJ, who I love both of you guys. I really, just being a boy mom, I was like, I feel like my son's out there. But I was cracking up, Sandra, when they started paddling, and she's like,
They're going the same. They're going.
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't work. They're going
Towards
around
each
a circle.
other.
It was great TV. We enjoyed it.
And I would say from my perspective, it was like you get out there, you've been out there for a couple hours already planning on this thing. Like they're saying we're gonna go do a raft. So you walk to the thing and we're like, oh, are we gonna get a partner or not? So you get excited, you're like, oh, we're about to get a partner. Then as soon as RJ comes up, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Because it's just because like initially it's just like he's 6'4", 6'5", 270 pounds. I'm 200 pounds. And then I look at the other teams and it's like, we're the biggest ones here. So our raft is gonna have to be really big. So initially you just get
Yeah.
really distracted on how big we were gonna make it. And
Yeah.
so we start building, and I'm trying to learn how about him, like how does he work with somebody. So I'm just like, all right, cool. We get in the water, we're doing great. We're in second place, everything's going well. Our raft kind of falls apart a little bit, so then we're in there like trying to tie it up in the water, and then it just spread out too far, so we couldn't paddle the way we were supposed to. And then our logs got soaking wet, so they weighed like 40 pounds a piece. So we were going fast, and then all of a sudden it's like a complete stop because nothing worked. So yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
went.
And
for
they
us.
only had like 2 real paddles out there in the supply, which Katie had the paddle and passed him. So they only had the boards. They were trying to,
They got super
Yes.
heavy.
Yeah.
they set us up. And,
That-
it was like one empty crate, one mouse trap in one, toilet paper in the other. Like, unless you got the propane that Summer got, nobody was
And
really
if you don't
happy.
have food or anything to do anything with it, then I guess you save it for another day.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a tough challenge. That was so hard. So, I mean, I was,
Props to you, Eric.
yeah, I had fun watching everyone because I thought there was no quit. Everybody was trying, and that was a very, very, very tough challenge. So, and then being big guys and coming back, I was like, oh, that can just suck the life out of you. Eric, this being your first time doing a show like this, were you surprised by the editing? Did you feel like it was like on point? Did it take you back how much they cut out?
No, I will say, like, I was prepared just knowing how much the stories that they tell me about Survivor and all the shows they've done, I've already kinda painted a picture on how the shows work, so I understand it. They really didn't I mean, they cut a lot of stuff because there's so much information out there and everybody has their own thing, but, like, I feel like they've painted a perfect picture kind of how
They
everybody was
the story,
living.
right?
Because me going off of what I experienced and what I'm seeing, they didn't show to the extent of how much
But
it
the
was,
gist of
but
it.
everything was, like, legit, like, this is day 1, day 2, day 3, this is how it was, they showed you the main parts of the days.
And you have two of the best people to lay down the expectations of like what to expect filming wise. I do have a question for you, Sandra and Nina. There was this point where Luke, I think it's, I don't know if it's Luke or
Team Luke.
but they, Team Luke, they ripped out a page from the book.
Oh yeah.
Was that as detrimental to you guys?
If
No.
you
No.
recall, however it's known, they Lindsay found the book and actually announces it to everyone. We all look at it at the table, and then we, along with Dayton, Alec, and I think Tanisha, wait for everybody to be done to then get the book back so we can read it. The next morning, Michaela wants to take a look at it again and sees that it's ripped out. Everybody literally saw it, and I know we all wrote notes, and most of our notes actually look the same. The raft looks the same because we all had the same thing. So was it dramatic? Yes. Was it effective? No. Everybody literally already read it, and it was
And
done.
we knew who exactly, people were already whispering
Yeah.
who exactly it was because that's how conniving they were.
And it was just unnecessary. It was
Yeah.
like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, I felt like they did unnecessary stuff. I'm like, you really want people to hate you,
And
don't
we
you?
love, like, TV, we love drama, we love dramatic. Like, here's a puzzle that we're trying to solve, but there's always moments here and there, whether it's our show or another one, where you're like, well, what was that even for? Like, it didn't get
Yeah.
you anything or give you it. Like, it didn't thing,
Right.
but make
Yeah.
people go, yeah, that's not that great. We saw them yell at them, yell at Michaela, yell at Doug's people. Like, now we're going to
Every
do
day.
this.
Every day is drama with someone else. The funny thing is, on the first episode, they're like, oh, so we're not the only ones coming out here to play. No, you ain't. No, you're not. You ain't. But it's a long game. You can't play. I mean, that's how they're choosing to play. I'm not going to correct anyone. But they don't understand how alliances work and how sometimes you have to give a little because later on you're going to need a little from someone else. So it's a give and
Yeah,
take.
exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
Well, Sandra, I know that you have a cake that's in the oven that your husband's watching, so we weren't going to keep you much longer from that. But Eric, I know this was your first time experiencing reality TV, and you said at the end you're done. This is their thing. Do you still believe that?
No, no,
Good.
I would say, like, the survival aspect of it is not really my thing, but I feel like just watching the show and being a part of something like that and seeing how everybody gets so happy, just seeing how it goes, um, I would like to be on something else, more like challenge-wise or some games or something.
Or we can swap. I'll be
when-
the survivalist and they can be in HQ.
Yeah.
Would love to see you out there
Yeah.
surviving, okay?
kill it.
But let me just say, we talked to Sandra a while ago, a couple weeks ago, and we were like, so what reality shows would you see, Eric and Nina on other than Survivor or Extracted? And she said, Eric, 99 to beat for you. They did get a season 2, so we're hoping we'll see you out
Oh,
there
yeah.
because we think you'd be good at it too.
Yeah.
That'd be
And you get to
awesome.
eat.
He doesn't have to suffer. There's food. He's going to have his bed. And all he has to
Yes,
do is pay
you're not
attention when they
alone.
give out the rules and then, knock it out.
And follow the timer. Be the
Mhm.
first one, unless the rules say otherwise.
You will hear that buzzer.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
Yeah, that buzzer's awful. But Eric, with your skill set for what you do career-wise, we're like, yeah, you would be a front runner. We need you out
Thank
there.
you. Yeah, hopefully I can do something. I would like to try something new.
Oh, you threw your hat in the arena with these two and with Extracted, so I'm sure
I'm
it's
super
coming.
competitive and I like to do challenges and all that stuff. So I think a lot of this game that hurt the most was just like all the waiting time and just being by yourself.
hurry up and wait.
And
But-
being hungry.
But,
I
like,
mean,
if it was like
Hungry.
nonstop challenge,
Oh,
challenge,
yes.
challenge, challenge, I think I would have done a lot better.
Sure.
But yeah, that's just
Yeah,
how it was.
yeah. Well, we enjoyed you.
Oh, yes. And now that your time has ended on the show, who do you want to win? Which family?
Yeah.
I will say
For me, I have a male and a female. For me, the minute we left, I went to Roman's mom and I was like, man, I'm really rooting for him and for Amy, because both of them struggled so much at the beginning and they just were resilient. Amy, for like 3 days straight,
For
that
real.
bow drill, she was on it for 3
Oh,
days
she
with
did.
Yeah.
nothing.
I almost
nothing.
cried for her because you
Yeah.
could hear how desperate she was, but she did not stop.
Yeah, she changed her 3 days in a row. She fixed her shelter because it started way too big. And then every single day, no matter how many calories she was burning, she was on it. And Roman too. He never gave up. He kept on going. He stayed positive, and he
We
would
love
say,
Roman. Yeah.
like, I have to fix my situation because only I can do it. So those were
Yeah.
my two that I was really rooting for.
They're both so darling, and I'm like, I love the relationship between Amy and her husband. Like, I think that's just a darling dynamic. Those two are so
There's-
cute. So, what about you guys, Nina and Eric?
For me, of course, Amy and Roman are always at the front, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Doug and his boys because they are not scared to fight. They've seen Toby get stepped on and they're not scared to stand up, not only for themselves, but other people. And then Katie's family, I started getting close with them just at the end. Before we left that night, I had a conversation with Emily like, hey, I love Doug's family. Let's see what we can do with them because I know you guys are close. But if anything happens, I also want to make sure we're good. So there's kind of like a trio here. So they are definitely like in my heart.
and for me,
Nice.
I would
Eric?
say like I have 3 people. So I have 2 people from the connections I made just a few minutes that we got to talk out in the woods. It would be Roman and Luke, because every single time we had some kind of challenge, we would be right there, like, and we would just it was just natural, it was easy and all that. But coming back home, since we're in North Carolina, Team Doug is in North Carolina, we've been able to hang out.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
Doug and I have really been able to connect here and there about our stories out in the wild. So I'm really rooting for them 3.
You know what I want to say before we go? That Eric heard Roman when he caught that fish, and Eric he was like, I could hear him.
Gosh, you guys, we were so excited for him.
Yeah, and even though
We're
you're
so
suffering and you're
excited.
like, man, I can't find no fish or anything. When you hear him, how excited he got catching something, it kind of brought some light to you. You're like, oh, okay, there's something there, and it was so
Yeah.
cool.
That's so cute. Yeah,
Yeah.
we love him.
We're gonna miss seeing you guys, the 3 of you guys, the trifecta
Yep.
on Extracted.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us. But before we go, let us know where people can follow you. Eric?
Thank you. You can follow me
Yes.
on Instagram. It's LLEXR or whatever, but it's anywhere on there you'll see.
He'll be tagged.
Yeah.
Nina.
I like how he's looking over at them.
Well,
Where do you
what-
find me,
how do you find me?
Sandra?
What's
What am I
my
supposed to say?
Tricky, and I'm like, man, Eric, can't you just be Eric Rivera? But there's a million.
Yeah, there's a million Erics out there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hard. And I'm Nina_untwined. And on TikTok, same thing, Nina Twine. Honestly, I'm lucky enough now you can just Google and you'll find it. And same with Miss
And I'm
Sassy
just
Sandra.
sassy SDT. So
The queen.
The queen.
Find her and you'll
Sandra,
find
you know
all of
I
us.
love you.
yeah, I tag them on everything. But thank you guys for
Okay.
being so awesome and for supporting Team Eric and for rooting for us. We appreciate that. And
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna see about
Yes.
putting his butt on 99 to beat because he
Yes,
still
let's
wants
do
his
it.
motorcycle.
Yeah, I still need to get that bike.
Yeah.
Again, thank you guys so much for joining us on Beyond the Edit. You guys make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Bye, everyone.
Good.
Bye, guys.